Every city on Earth, every war, every technology, and the entire history of humanity could still be primitive on a cosmic scale. Maybe we're not as advanced as we think. Maybe humanity is still crawling. In 1964, Soviet astrophysicist Nikolai Kardashev asked a simple but brutal question. How do you measure the advancement of a civilization? His answer was energy. The more energy you can control, the more advanced you are. And that idea became the Kardashev Scale, a cosmic ranking system for civilizations. A Type 1 civilization controls all the energy available on its planet. It could stop hurricanes, prevent earthquakes, control ocean currents, deliberately reshape the planet's climate. Energy scarcity would no longer exist. Type 2 controls the power of its star. It builds massive energy structures around a sun. A Dyson sphere. Imagine a civilization harvesting the full output of a star. Trillions of times more energy than we use today. And Type 3? It controls an entire galaxy. Interstellar travel becomes ordinary. They no longer belong to one planet. They belong to a galaxy. So where are we? Humanity? Are we Type 1? No. We're not even close. According to Carl Sagan, humanity is roughly a Type 0.72 civilization, not even fully planetary yet. And the reason is uncomfortable. Because we still burn dead organisms for energy. Oil, coal, natural gas, the decayed remains of ancient life forms power modern civilization. If an alien species observed us, they would probably say, "But this species still burns things." And honestly, they'd be right. Our phones may be smart, we may have artificial intelligence, we may build rockets. But our energy infrastructure? Still primitive. Because true civilization is energy management. Look around, a power outage shuts down entire cities, fuel prices rise, and economies collapse. A pipeline sparks conflict. This is not a planetary civilization, this is tribes fighting over resources with better technology. And do you know the biggest problem? Humanity is not united. Technology alone is not enough to become Type 1. Coordination is required. Global cooperation is required because a Type 1 civilization doesn't see itself as nations, it sees itself as one species. And we still haven't achieved that, but we are standing at a threshold. For the first time, we may actually have a chance to cross it. How? Fusion. Fusion is what powers the sun. Not splitting atoms apart, but forcing them together. And the energy released is almost unimaginable. A glass of water worth of fuel could produce as much energy as tons of coal. Near zero carbon emissions. Near limitless energy. If we solve fusion, humanity could experience the greatest leap in its history. Right now, projects like ITER are chasing that future. Massive reactors are being built. Because everyone understands one thing. Whoever solves energy solves the future. But generating energy isn't enough. We also need to manage it. Because yes, we have solar power, we have wind power, but storage, distribution, global energy coordination, still weak. A Type 1 civilization would use the entire planet as a single energy system. The sunlight in Africa could power the night in Europe. Massive ocean turbines could energize continents. But we still think in borders, cables, and competing interests. And here's the craziest part. Once we become Type 1, we won't just predict nature, we'll control it. A hurricane forming, redirect it. A drought approaching, modify the atmosphere. Earthquake risk increasing, release tectonic pressure in controlled ways. Today, this sounds like science fiction, but remember, the internet once sounded impossible too. And the real question is this: are we truly evolving? Or are we just building more complicated toys? Because civilization isn't about making better screens. It's about consciously managing an entire planet. And maybe the most terrifying truth is this: we have to move up the Kardashev scale, because the alternative could be extinction. A species that cannot control energy, consumes its own planet, destroys its own atmosphere, kills its own oceans, and eventually gets crushed under the weight of its own technology. Maybe that's why the universe seems silent. Maybe countless civilizations never survived the transition to Type 1. Now ask yourself this: who are we really? An advanced civilization ruling a planet? Or children playing with fire in the cosmic dark? Because the truth is, humanity is not a finished civilization. We are a civilization in transition, and there are only two paths ahead. Either we learn to master energy and become a planetary species, or we disappear inside our own primitive greed. Maybe 100 years from now, people will look back at us and laugh. They burned coal? They fought wars over oil? They couldn't manage an entire planet as one system? Maybe they'll look at us the same way we look at cavemen. But can we actually reach that future? That's the real question. Because the hardest step on the Kardashev scale is the jump from Type 0 to Type 1. And humanity is living through that transition right now. Don't forget subscribe and like. Thanks for watching. See ya in the next video.